Yay. Oh my gosh. Okay, are we live? We live? I think we're live. Yay. Awesome. So excited for tonight's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live, or if you're catching the replay, thank you so much. I am hopping on tonight's episode with my friend Brittany Berger. Yay! I'm so excited because she is going to be talking tonight all about managing your energy, how it plays into our work and productivity and all of the things. So, yeah, Brittany, welcome and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. Where should I start? I think I cut out for I think you froze for a second, so I don't know what you've said so far.
Yes, that sounds about right. So Brittany is the founder of Work Brighter. And so Brittany, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure thing. So I am just like a very type A overachiever, and I just didn't really see the issue with that for the first 25 years of my life. And so I ended up, graduating college, double major, double minor, still in 4 years. As soon as I started my first job, I also started my first monetized blog, and shortly after that, my first side hustle. And I was just always go, 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 very much bought into hustle culture and productivity is everything. And until I was 25, and then my body was just like, no, had enough. It's time we're done. Because I had put in 50 years of work in 25 years. And that led to some health stuff. And I ended up being diagnosed with so many different chronic illnesses on top of the mental illnesses that I had had my whole life. And it was a lot, and it was hard to learn how to juggle in my day to day. So around then is when I ended up leaving my full-time job and going full-time into entrepreneurship. And it took a while to kind of figure out what I really wanted to do. I started off freelance writing since my career was in content marketing before that. But I really just found my place with this newsletter that I had been writing for years, Work Brighter. And it started off as just a free weekly newsletter of productivity tips. And I really, over the past 2 years, have learned really what working brighter is, and realizing that it's about doing more than working smarter, and about, living intentionally when it comes to more than productivity and escaping hustle culture. So I just really like to say that I like to help other overwhelmed, burnt out people, especially anyone with mental or chronic illness like myself, escape hustle culture and the obsession with working smarter to working brighter and this new relationship with productivity.
I love it. Seriously, I love it because it's so important that we actually honor where we are at and where our body's at, right? We have to know if you're feeling it a specific day, or if you're not feeling it a specific day, you need to actually honor that instead of trying to push through it like our culture tells us that we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I honestly just pushed through it. I had never heard of anything else until then, and I feel like that's all around us, and Nike, just do it, and
Yeah.
goal getters don't quit, and just all of the Gary V type messaging out there about oh my God, I hate hashtag no excuses. I have a quote on Instagram that's what's the difference between no excuses and no empathy? Because the no excuses mindset was leading me to literally work from the hospital, because in my mind it was no excuses for not working and being productive. So I was literally doing that. And so excuses, yes, please, sometimes.
I like yeah, I'm calling bullshit on the no excuses because, like you said, I mean, I think that there's definitely a point where we begin to look at things and okay, well, am I making an excuse for this? or am I like really like, is it really something that I, want to be doing, or am I just being lazy? And so when you start to look at it that way too, it's like, I feel like it just opens up a lot more. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I really feel like just like learning like self-awareness has become a really big thing for me because like sometimes watching Netflix is or like sometimes, sometimes something is an excuse and sometimes it's an explanation. Like today I have done basically no work.
Mm-hmm.
On some days that might be an excuse. Today I woke up originally at like 6:30 after not falling asleep until 1, and I woke up sick, and I ended up going back to bed at 8 and then again at 4. And like today I have done some like admin, but like originally I was planning on like filming video today and like washing my hair, which clearly didn't happen. And
Dry shampoo for
like
the
it's
win.
just yeah, absolutely. And like I have thinner headphones, but I knew that these would cover up more.
Surface area.
Like I
Check.
have ones like that. Exactly. But I was like, let's cover this.
Oh my God, so good.
Exactly. Like I've just learned that like, yeah, productivity still matters, but so does all this other stuff that I wasn't paying attention to, like my health. And so yeah, I've just really had to learn self-awareness and learn when not following my plan is a good thing. Like today, not following my plan and not trying to film video and wash my hair and do my makeup and organize my desk and like not trying to do all that today, especially since this was like towards the end of the day and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't like bleh by now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that was the right decision for the day. Two naps, yeah. You know, yesterday, two naps would have been a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But yeah,
it's like you need to listen to your intuition. I mean, that really is. It's your
exactly.
inner knowing. And I am really interested. I would love to know, like, what is your perspective on the like self-care movement that I feel has really just like exploded. I feel like all of a sudden people are like actually wanting to take care of themselves. Like what is your take on that?
I think that well, I have a lot of takes on it. Like, I have the take on like how capitalism is impacting it and like how Instagram is impacting it. But like above all, I think the reason we all care so much about it now is because we all really have been raised in this hustle culture where we are meant to be a quote unquote productive member of society. I don't know about you, but like I remember hearing that phrase constantly since I was like a young child. And like that's such a weird phrase to like embody as a child. But like I realized that like I have just equated so much of like my worthiness with my productivity, and I'm not the only one. That is what again like capitalism and politics have taught us all, and I feel like we're especially once you get to like your late 20s and you've been in a full-time career for a certain amount of time, I feel like our bodies do burn out because we have been working too hard. And I think that like it's definitely a trend. And I think that it happened to me sooner than it happened to other people in my generation because of the people's. But like I know so many people who in their late 20s and early 30s have just like this one great big burnout, and I think that like that's the reason, and it becomes a wake up call for a lot of us. And I hate that it's happening, but I do like that it's waking us up, and I like that we're finding alternatives, and I'm glad that I was able to use my earliness for something good.
Yeah. But really
Like
though,
I turn my early burnout into something useful. Again, that might just be the part of me obsessed with productivity, but I was able to produce something out of that.
you're making chicken salad out of chicken shit. I love it. Oh my God. So good.
Chicken tenders, though, because those are better.
Seriously though, because you don't know where
I
the
love
mayo comes from, it's questionable sometimes. It's like,
like mayo.
I don't like mayo. oh, oh my God. Okay, so see, I feel the same way though with like the whole self care thing, and it's like For me, I feel like so many people view the self-care movement right now as like this new trend, and in reality it boils back down to listening to your body and caring for yourself as needed, instead of
Exactly.
just pushing your intuition aside and being like, well, F you too, I'm just gonna get this ish done and it's fine, and I'll just drink, 10 more pots of coffee and, it'll all be good. Like, your body doesn't work that way. Your body just doesn't freaking work that way. And so yeah. Everyone that I talk to when
Yeah,
they're like, I'm burnt out, it's like, but what did you do to prevent that? You know?
Yeah, and I think that it goes so deep and it has such I think a lot of it is political too. Like if you go
Mm-hmm.
to the roots of like what self-care is, a lot of our current self-care mindset is influenced by Audre Lorde's writing in I think it was like the 80s.
Okay.
And that was all around activism and saying that, and like her recommending that, I think the quote was self-care is an act of preservation. And she was specifically speaking to Black activists who, were getting activism burnout, which is a whole other thing. And I think a lot of white women like ourselves have gotten more political since 2016. And that has contributed to our burnout too, because I really am adamant about digging deep to the root of our burnout. And a lot of times that is politics and oppression. And a lot of us had a huge awakening around that in the past few years. And just being aware of that, being aware of the oppression that you're under is somehow like more burnout inducing than being oblivious to it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I,
And so, yeah, I think that that's another contributing factor. And a lot of times people just want to like say like, oh, I'm super stressed out, so I'll take a bubble bath. And that's just like a very short term approach. And that will make you feel good for a few hours. Whereas, taking the bigger preventative picture in terms of managing your energy and then taking the even bigger picture and looking at like the systemic regions and beyond just yourself. And so that's why I really feel like I need to get political, more political than I might be comfortable getting, talking about this stuff because it really is at the root of it all.
I have to be honest with you, Brittany. Like, I don't think I've ever really taken a like that perspective. Like, this is a new perspective for me because I'm not anti-political. I just choose to, I'm aware of current situations and circumstances, but for me, it's like, especially as somebody that feels everything so much more deeply than some, it's like for me, I can't look at the news. Like, I can't look at politics. So it's not even that I want to
Yeah,
be
I am
oblivious.
with you there. I'm with you there. And I think that that's a matter of intentionality and self awareness too. Like, I have a hard rule that I do not watch the news. When I learn about what's going on in the world, it is not through video form because
Mm-hmm.
that impacts me more. So
Mm-hmm.
I've like made rules and I've figured out ways to like figure out what's going on and make a difference while respecting my own boundaries. And it's something that everyone has to deal with. But like, I like to think that it's not that I'm political. I hate politics, but I'm social justice oriented. And for social justice to happen, we've got to dig into the shitty politics of it. And so I feel like when I do talk about it, like in terms of business and in stuff like this, like I try not to get too focused on like specific political parties or political candidates. And I'm focusing on the bigger social issues. So like, for example, the wider system of capitalism spreads across, like multiple countries and multiple political parties, but that really is like a political thing, and it is at the cause of a lot. So it's I guess I would say I don't so much talk politics as I do social justice, which brings in the politics when necessary.
Yeah. I mean, and that makes actually total sense because it's almost like I just like for some reason saw like politics as like this like social justice's shadow. It's like you need to dig in, you need to lean in and like work on healing that in order to, so I totally get what you're saying. And it's, yeah, it's hard. It's hard being like a sensitive, it's hard being an empath, it's hard being anyone, I feel like, especially today, but like as someone that feels things, you know, so much stronger than some, it's like it's draining, it's exhausting. And so that's why I love so
Yeah.
much that you have like taken this, not even approach, it's like you realized what worked for you and what didn't work for you, and you are honoring whatever cycle your body is in, essentially.
Yeah,
I love that.
exactly. Like, yeah, like I said, like today was supposed to be a hardcore content creation day until I woke up feeling like crap. And honestly, if we want to get like into the TMI here, like I knew I was gonna have to spend a lot of my day running to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And like that's not good for deep work and like writing a ton of words and recording video. Like logistically it doesn't work.
I mean, unless you want to like set up your studio and lighting and camera in on the toilet. I mean, oh my God, has that ever been done though? Like, girl, we might be onto something. Like,
Oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe that's, I don't know. Okay, all right, we'll stop that. Okay, I mean, maybe though.
I think you cut out again.
Why is the connection so terrible? Oh my goodness. So Brittany, one of the last questions I did want to ask you though is like, what, for somebody that maybe has just woken up, let's say, somebody that is just becoming more self-aware, really, is what it boils down to. Like, what is your number one like suggestion, or what do you wish you knew years ago? Like, what do you wish you like had been told, or whatever?
Especially when it comes to our bodies, there is no normal. I feel like so much of my own mindset issues are rooted in the fact that my chronic illnesses were undiagnosed for so long. So I spent a really long time, most of my life, thinking that I was just slower and weaker than everyone else, when in reality, I was sicker than everyone else and pushing through that and still keeping up with people, which is actually pretty amazing. So I really went from being like always, and I always thinking that I was weak and slow, and then working really, really hard to prove everyone wrong about that, to the point to burnout, that there is no normal. Yeah, there is no normal. Everyone is on their own timeline, and you really just have to respect your body. I spent so long ignoring my body's needs, and I'm still not good at it. Like, I still legit forget to eat off
That's so bad.
because I'm realizing that the last few hours before bed is when I normally write. And so I spend those few hours so in the zone of writing that that I then jump into bed and forget to say like, oh wait, have I eaten in the past few hours? And realizing that I haven't. So I'm working on fixing that now, because listen to your body and take small steps to take care of yourself.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Food is important. But all of it is important. Oh, girl, have you eaten? Do we need to, like, do you need to get
Yeah.
some food? Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Fun fact, check my Insta story, but my camera is actually sitting on goldfish
What?
right now. It's my camera stand.
What? Stop it.
I was snacking right before we went live.
Oh my God, so it's actually on a pile of goldfish? I love you.
Not a pile, but I have a carton of goldfish, and I'm using it as my camera stand because yeah, I get the big carton. It's on my Insta stories. I get the big carton, and my coffee table's too low down, and I needed something to lift it up, and I was like, I could either stack a bunch of books on top of each other, or the goldfish is already sitting here.
God, I love you so hard.
Innovation. I am an innovator.
Bitch, please.
Creative.
Oh my God. Oh, so good. Speaking of Instagram story, now that everyone has fallen in love with you, where can they find you on all the social medias?
All right, so you can find me on Instagram at thatbberg and at workbrighter. The silliness is normally on that Bberg. And on Twitter, I'm actually on Twitter more than Instagram, and I am that Bberg over there. And you
Awesome.
can sign up for the Workbrighter weekly emails at workbrighter.co.
They are so worth it too, guys. I have to tell you. Like I'll be that nerd right now. I don't even care. I'm outing myself here. I look forward to Brittany's emails because it's like it's real. It's the real, but it's like hilarious and it's like just it's a breath of fresh air and it's such a great way to start your week. I just adore the shit out
Can I
of
use that
you.
as a testimonial on the sign up page?
Oh, girl, of course you can. I don't even know what minute that was, but we'll like figure that out. Yes, I got you.
Yeah, I have you on the record.
So what was I'm like la 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 right now. I can't even. And oh yes, so Brittany has been so kind as to uh give all of our listeners the oh my gosh, yep, it's failing me. Tell me the guide again, darling. Tell me what it's called. I'm like, I
It
can't even.
is a free energy management tracker for Airtable, and it will help you go through and start honing that self-awareness around your energy and your productivity. And it's the exact template that I have been using in various forms for several years now. Like before I even used Airtable, it used to be a spreadsheet. You can actually import it into a spreadsheet if you don't want to use Airtable. And yeah, it just has helped me so much. And it's just great for actually making sure that you slow down and reflect and hone that self awareness over time around your work and your energy.
Uh so
And so,
good.
yeah, you can just find that on the homepage of workbrighter.co too, if you're looking for it.
Perfect. And I'll be sure to add that into the show notes too. Yes. Brittany, thank you so much for hopping on tonight, for just being real, being raw, being you, and yeah, doing the damn thing.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thanks so much for having me too.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for the live, for the replay, for all the things. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your night, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye bye.